confirmation it will be an increase in $50 a fortnight, but also, interestingly, the income-free threshold is also increasing. What do you make of this?
And look, both those things are good news, and I am incredibly proud of Australia that amid a global pandemic, that for the first time in over a quarter of a century, you're getting a government finally doing something. Australia's a marvellous country. We've proved it again through coronavirus, but our fundamental fairness fail as a nation has been our treatment of the poorest of the poor, and in Australia that's the unemployed. So magnificent we're doing something, magnificent there's a bit of wriggle room on that income test as well. It's not nearly enough, the sort of dollars that we're talking about. Had we actually kept pace with national living standards over the last quarter of a century, if we were handing that back today, we would be handing back 5 times the amount that's currently mooted, that $50 amount.
OK, you modelled the $80 a week increase, I believe. Can you do the quick maths as to what this might cost the budget?
And it costs more up front because there's more unemployed today, and you'd be hopeful that that number comes down over time, and it depends whether you're adding in youth allowance as well. But basically, up front, you're talking an annual cost of less than $5 billion and moving down to $4 billion as unemployment settles. But that's the direct cost. One of the great things about this particular policy is not only is it markedly fairer than we're currently doing, it would be a beautiful little, if you give money to the poorest of the poor, they spend it. The Australian economy needs that. The actual net cost to the budget would only end up being about 1 in every $3 of that direct cost.
You are always talking about this, Chris Richardson. I can't imagine the number of times you've said that this has a great benefit to the broader economy, because poorer people spend every single dollar that they have. But the government also has to weigh up the budget, I guess. Why don't they listen to you more?
Well, that's an excellent question, Laura. And to be fair, this is a juggle, and there are a lot of people who worry, and we heard it a moment ago as Jono was noting, I think it was Greg Hunt saying, that you don't want to give people a disincentive, that, you don't want them to be happy to stay on unemployment instead of being in work. But people do need to remember Australia has effectively the highest minimum wage in the world, and relative to that, our unemployment benefit is tiny. And if, as mooted, it goes from a bit over $40 a day to a bit under $44 a day, that doesn't change it in any particular way. We are one of the toughest nations on earth on our unemployed. We give them a stunning incentive to get a job. So feel free to worry about a bunch of things here. But no, we absolutely, out of 1 million people, of course there will be some, but most need that money to pay the electricity bill, pay the rent, put food on the table for the family.
Well, Mr. Richardson, that said, it sounds like this $50 a fortnight increase, which is about $4 a day, is just going to be absorbed. It won't even touch the sides. So some might ask, what's the point?
Yeah, and look, again, I am proud of Australia doing this amid a pandemic, and both sides of politics have had their chance over a quarter of a century. Finally, we're seeing something done, and I am very proud of that. But we do need to be aware this is, at best, a first step.
Just quickly, on JobKeeper, it's going to end, we know. Would you have a problem with that targeted assistance, as it's mooted, coming in the form of grants?
No, we do need a bit more targeted assistance, particularly for businesses that are tied to international borders. That's going to be a while. But the basic thought that JobKeeper comes to an end at the end of March, the Australian economy looks increasingly good. That's much less dangerous than it used to be. So, yeah, small, focused programs, grants if needed.
Chris Richardson, great to see you. It's been too long. We'll speak soon.
Thanks.